Soul's Conquest.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Soul's Conquest for all of the people who are seeing this on YouTube. Yes, this is me batch recording my content. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. Yes, my hair sucks. It's not the best day for my hair, but we are going to continue doing this because hair and dress doesn't stop me. It does not. Anyways, today we are going to talk about how our soul is constantly talking to us. Now, I always say this, right? Like we have a guiding light inside of us that's constantly guiding us. Like if you check out the cover art of this podcast and my logo, that's what it says. It's a lighthouse that's constantly shining through, no matter storm, no matter the situation, it's shining through and it's guiding you, no matter the bad situation. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. That oftentimes we feel extremely lost. We feel like there's no one to support us. We feel like there's no one who can understand us in a situation that we are in. It must be something that must be extremely terrifying or troubling or extremely joyous. And I just wanted to let you know that a lighthouse shines no matter what, and your soul sings no matter what. You have this constant voice, constantly constantly. You have this tiny little voice constantly going off in your mind. Even now, as you're listening to this, you can hear a small voice talking to you about this podcast, or making notes, or thinking about situations, or relating this podcast episode to your life. Your soul is constantly talking to you. But sometimes, in the fog of burnouts, in the fog of life, in the fog of misfortune, sadness, joy, happiness, grief, and all the complex emotions that make us human, we forget that that voice exists. It's very easy to forget. That constant voice, tiny little voice that's constantly talking behind you, inside of you, it becomes easy to ignore it, especially with years of training of not hearing it. It's very easy to ignore that voice altogether. But I'm here to tell you that it exists. It's there and it's constantly guiding you and talking to you and helping you and listening to you. And so I want to leave you with this awareness on this podcast episode. It's extremely tiny, I know, but I wanted you to acknowledge that voice, to sit in silence and listen to that inner voice go off, to clear the fog and to reconnect with yourself. It's not an easy journey. I understand that. And that is why I made an entire podcast season around it. Like the first season is all about reconnecting with your inner self, with your inner child. And I also have a coaching program that further talks about reconnecting with yourself, that further talks about how you can connect and hold that guiding light in your hand and move through life, move through this journey, this beautiful journey. And so, to do that, I want to start with awareness, with allowing you to listen. If you're listening to this podcast after this episode ends, I want you, if possible, to take some time off and listen. Take deep breaths and bring yourself back into your body and listen. It's speaking to you right now. You know it. It's time you hear it. It's time you listen. I hope this resonates. Reach out to me on Instagram and let me know what you thought about today's episode, brief as it might be. I know it is impactful because it was a reminder that I needed for myself. And so I'm reminding you guys as well. Remember to listen.